Hello everyone, welcome to IS Baba. This is a very important session wherein we are going to study about the strategy of the geography. Students, the importance of geography is increasing with the increasing number of questions in prelims every year. You can see UPSC is reviving back the old trend of asking the conceptual questions. Along with that, the number of questions in mapping have also increased. We'll do the analysis of the previous few years of the question paper and we'll try to figure out which are the important areas. Here, we'll first focus on what is the syllabus given by the UPSC. Since this is a prelims dedicated class, so the focus should be on the prelims, and over here you can see in the case of prelims, UPSC have not elaborated on the syllabus. It says Indian and world geography, physical, social, economic geography of India and the world. Here, they have not elaborated any of these aspects, but they have just mentioned India and the world. It means it is left to the students. They can go into any detail, but preparation that way will not be very strategic in nature. For a very strategic preparation, it is important that along with the syllabus, you see the previous year's question paper. And having done the analysis of the previous year's question paper, we have come to the conclusion that in past 20 years, UPSC have focused on the world physical geography, especially the solar system, geomorphology, climatology, oceanography, biomes, then the Indian geography, especially the Indian physiography, the drainage system, the climate of India, the biomes, and even the soil. Then in the case of economic geography, the agriculture, the minerals, energy, industries, infrastructure, a lot of mapping question is also seen these days, and the less importance and important one though, but it is the human geography. So over here these are the four important dimensions that students should be focusing. If you look at this, you will understand that in last few years, especially from 2013 to 2023, you can see the questions have been asked on the solar system. Okay, and you see the frequency of the number of the questions that is coming these years. Okay, few questions are always from the solar system chapter. If you take the case of geomorphology, you see the trend, not a very frequently asked topic, geomorphology, but when it comes to climatology, you can see in the last 5 years consistently one questions have been asked from this area. Similarly, you take the case of oceanography, not a very frequently asked topic. When it comes to the world biomes, again you can see there are few questions here also. Okay, so if you take this area, that is the world physical geography, you will see that this area UPSC have focused upon. So every year you can see there are a good number of questions from each of these area, except in 2020 where not much questions was asked from the physical geography of the world. Rest other year at least 3 to 4 questions will come from physical geography of the world. So this is a very important area. Second important area, and rather a more important area, is the Indian geography, wherein the Indian geography physical aspect, especially the mapping area, is very important. Here you can see with respect to the India's geographical extent, like for example the political boundaries, the places in the news, okay, or the Tropic of the Cancer or the Indian Standard Time. These are all important topic from the India's geographical extent. Second is the Indian physiography. Again you see there is frequently number of questions asked, but the most critical and the most important one is the drainage system of India. If you can see the number of the questions, just 1 year they had not asked, and at times they had asked even 3 questions. So one topic and 3 questions in your pocket. Okay, so drainage system of India, the most important and critical topic of the entire prelims of the geography. So now the thing is, it is very mandatory for you that the drainage system of India should be done in good detail. Secondly, if you take the case of Indian climate, not very much questions. Okay, these 2 years when the question were asked, these were current affair based questions. Okay, these were Indian Ocean dipole. Okay, if you take the case of soil is also important. You can see And lastly, the Indian biomes, like that of the world biomes, even questions have been asked on the Indian biomes. So this is another important area where it is expected that students should be focusing more. From the Indian geography, a lot of mapping based questions have come. If you take the case of agriculture, okay, from here onwards are the economic geography, okay, the economic geography, primary, secondary, tertiary sectors, okay, and here also if you can see there have been good number of the questions, but since this topic also have got overlapping with the economy, okay, so this topic can be very well covered in the Indian economy rather than in the Indian geography, okay, because the questions are mostly related to if the questions is with respect to the agriculture, the questions are mostly focusing on the new technology or new conservation methods, new farming methods of the agriculture, then government programs related to the agriculture, okay, resource and the minerals. Most of these questions again can be either policy oriented, or in case if it is geography oriented, then they will ask you on the types of the resources. With respect to the energy, it is very important topic. Definitely will get one question over here. But from the energy aspect, energy is there in the geography also. Energy is there in the science and technology as well. The energy related question can also be from the economy. Okay, economy. Industries, as you can see, not a major topic. Okay, hardly just one question in last few years. But infrastructure, again you can see it, there can be a current affair based question on the infrastructure like road, railways, waterways, or ports. Ports is gaining important these days. Okay, and lastly, human geography, you can see from the human geography from last few years no questions at all. Okay, it's all empty. From geopolitics, no questions in the geography again. Yes, there can be question in the international relation, places in news, okay, places in news, and here world mapping becomes very important. As you can see from the world mapping, there are so many questions asked almost every year. At times you can see from the world mapping alone 4 questions, or at times as high as 6 questions can be asked. So world mapping is another very critical, very important area. These world mappings are usually current affair oriented, okay, especially the places in news, or it can be the rivers in the news or lakes in the news. Especially the UPSC favorite area for the current affair aspect of the mapping is those places which have some kind of issues or some kind of disputes, and mostly these regions are Africa and West Asia. So these two areas are favorite area of UPSC when they ask mapping based questions. Okay, the last is the Indian mapping. Okay, from here Indian mapping also you may or may not expect question. Okay, because from the Indian mapping we would already be covering the drainage system of India, wherein every year by default minimum 1 question, maximum 3 questions can be asked. Drainage system of India again is highly current affair oriented. So here we understood 3 important region: physical geography of the world, concept based question can be asked. Then the Indian geography, more of mapping based questions can be asked. Then economic geography, it have got overlapping with the economy also, so it can be very well prepared from the economy perspective. What is more important and exclusive in the geography is the world mapping and the Indian mapping, and that too you focus more on the Africa region and the West Asia. Okay, and with respect to the topic, you focus on important places in the news, important lakes and rivers in the news, and important sea in the news. Okay, so out here if you are preparing it that way, you will be able to realize that you are preparing in a very channelized and the organized manner. If you look at with respect to the number of questions, the trend of the number of the questions, you can see earlier the question used to be more, then it decreased, then again fluctuating, and in the recent year you can see the importance of geography have been consistently increasing, which indicates that geography is not to be neglected. Some of these questions are concept based questions, and quite a number of questions are current affair based questions. Current affair based questions, especially the mapping ones. It can be the Indian mapping, but world mapping is mostly emphasized. Since geography have got overlapping with the other subjects also, so having a good understanding of this subject will also help you to attempt some other questions. Here, book resources on this books resources and the important material, as everyone is aware of, NCERT 6 to 12 standard can be referred. For advanced level preparation, you may refer either GC Leon or Majid Hussain. Okay, GC Leon or Majid Hussain. But many students are not aware that there are some important chapters in the India yearbook. For example, energy, environment, agriculture, water resource and industry. These are few selected chapters of India yearbook that definitely should be covered. Then with respect to the current affairs, you may refer the Ministry of Science for energy related topic. Okay, then the Ministry of the Agriculture for agriculture related questions, and environment for the biomes, especially the Indian biomes related questions. Okay, and prelims as well as mains questions back would be very important for you. So with respect to the prelims question paper, solve at least last 20 years of question paper, but see the trend of last 4 or 5 years. Same is the case with the mains question paper. Don't solve the last 20 years question paper, but it is important that at least you should be referring last 4 or 5 years of the question paper and try to solve them. Out here, if we emphasize on some specific area, let us take the case of the drainage system. Okay, in the case of the drainage system, what kind of questions have been asked by the UPSC? As we have seen, that this drainage based questions are very frequently asked. So just let us have a look here. The drainage system of India. So the questions here with respect to the Himalayan rivers, okay, the questions can be asked. So what type of questions? What is the demand of the questions? Okay, so here you can see the river and a lake. River and a lake. Okay, so river in association with lake. Okay, so that can be one trend. If we see the trend on what type of drainage questions can be asked. So here you can emphasize on some important aspects. Let us draw that aspects from the exam perspective. So drainage system, you associate it with the lake. For example, the important lakes on that river. Okay, if there is a river, there are some lake associated with those rivers. So that should be emphasized. Let us see the second point. The second aspect, if you can see question number 3, it have asked glaciers and the river. Glaciers and the river. So glacier is the origin point of the Himalayan rivers. Okay, so origin point. Okay, origin point. In the case of the peninsular rivers, the origin point would not be glacier. Yes or no? So it is the case of the Himalayan rivers. Okay, so when you are doing the origin point, also do the whole path in the sense that which are the important states through which that river is passing, which are the important cities through which that river is passing, or which cities are situated on the bank of that river, because there were quite a number of questions, especially with respect to that of a river called as Thames. So Thames flows in England, and on the Thames river, London city is there. Are you understanding this? Okay, so likewise UPSC have asked questions in the past, wherein on one hand they will give you the name of the river, on the other hand they will give you the name of the cities, and you are supposed to match them. Okay, so the third aspect, if you see question number 4, if you see, it says from the north to south, which one of the following is the correct sequence of the given rivers in India? Okay, so you also need to have a good observation with respect to north to south or east to west direction. Okay, Again, question number 5, you can see it is with respect to the origin of the river. If you take the case of question number 6, the river that passes through Himachal Pradesh, again the path. So you try to memorize, you take a river and you see through which state it is passing. But having done that, that is not sufficient. UPSC may ask question related to important cities also. If you see question number 7, Bhaglihar project, okay, Dalhasti power station, these are important dams. Then Tapovan and Vishnugar hydroelectric project. Okay, so we are understanding one more trend, that we are supposed to make a list of the important projects. For example, okay, so you may take a river, you may make such kind of diagrams wherein important projects you name, important lakes you name, and if there is an important city, okay, you name the important city as well. Okay, I hope this is getting easy. The next aspect is, if you can see question number 10, it is asking about the important tributaries of Brahmaputra. Okay, and likewise many questions have been asked. See, with respect to the question number 13, if you take, okay, then this question have this question Tista was in association with this current affair of that year basically. Okay, and it is a tributary of the Brahmaputra river. Okay, so tributary related questions are usually asked. Okay, so important tributaries of the river. Okay, for example, Ganga river, which are the tributaries, Brahmaputra, the important tributaries. So you draw a map accordingly. And over here you see, with respect to the peninsular rivers, the reservoirs and the states, so you can prepare it accordingly in the same ways as you are preparing the projects. Okay, so over here now you can see question number 19, famous places and the rivers. So important cities and states you will be already covering. Important tributaries of the Godavari, important wetlands on the confluence of the rivers. Okay, so over here we are understanding that we need to prepare the drainage system, that all the important rivers, and on those rivers important lakes, the origin path, okay, the projects, and the important tributaries. Having done this, what can be done is a map like this should be prepared. Okay, this kind of map will certainly help you for a faster revision, and most of the points will be covered over here. So likewise every other topic can be covered in this order, wherein you make a short notes of each of these. And here at IS Baba we will be emphasizing on what are those important areas, what are the important tricks, okay, what are the traps that is there in the questions, because unless you solve the question you will never understand what is the psychology of the student while attempting the questions. Okay, what is a trap in the options, there are certain hint also. So all of these comes through the conceptual clarity and solving the questions, and here at IS Baba our effort would be to do the same. Thank you.